Hey guys, Daryl Sweeney. Hope your week is going well. It's Wednesday. Glad we're getting to do this once again. So, for those of you that know me and have tuned in every single week or are following me on a regular basis, you know that I have fully jumped into the world of coaching. All right, I spend my days helping entrepreneurs and professionals build the life and the business they really want so that they can do all kinds of things they want to do. Right? For a lot of people, it's making more money. For others, it's moving up in their career. Right? I work with a lot of leaders that want to get out and lead their team in really powerful ways. So, whatever it is that my clients are chasing or finding themselves challenged with, right? Our work together helps them get to the other side of that. So that's what I spend my time doing. And for a lot of the people I work with, they know that I have a background in marketing. They know that I've built several businesses, right? They know that I not only have the framework of coaching to support and help them reach their goals, but that I can also lean on my experience as building businesses, as trying to make more money, as leading teams. So today we're going to get into a conversation that I get asked a lot of questions about, and that's marketing, right? So I want to do kind of a deeper dive into marketing and really talk about this whole tactics versus strategy thing. Now, I will tell you, some of you are watching live, and I love that. If you want to go back and catch any of these recordings, anything I've done in the past, if you want to explore other topics we've talked about, I post all of the recordings of these live shows over on my website, darylsweeney.com. Hit the library tab, and you'll literally see every single show that I've done up to this point. And as I continue doing them, they will always be found there. So if you ever miss me live, you know you can go in there and get the content that's waiting for you. So the topic today is marketing strategy versus tactics and how companies go wrong. And again, I spent so much time looking at through the business lens of marketing. Right? I've done that in my own businesses to grow, to get out, to reach the people I want to reach. Right? But I've also done that with a ton of clients. The last business I owned was a marketing company that we did highly targeted marketing. So we got really laser focused on helping people get in front of the people who can move their business forward, right? New clients, new customers, new prospects. So I have a question for you. I want to start with a question, and that is, what is your favorite marketing tactic? Right? So what are you doing to get in front of your clients, to get in front of the people you want to reach, the people that are going to help your business grow and get to the next level? A lot of people, the answer may be social media. So it may be Facebook or Instagram. For some people, maybe podcasts or live video like this, just like I'm doing right now. Right? For others, it may be events or PR. So that's what I want to know. I want you to hit the comments and let me know, what is your favorite marketing tactic? What are you doing in your business that you look forward to? You know that it works. You have a lot of faith and belief in to help you reach your marketing and business goals. And I asked that question, I strategically asked about tactics because I believe that everybody has business tactics. Everybody has some tactic that they're doing out there. It could be as simple as referrals or word of mouth or going to networking events or sending out emails to the people you want to get in front of. But every business has tactics. Not every business has strategy, right? And it's really important because as a marketer, I get so many questions about those tactics. People would call me up and say, hey, I really need help on social media, or can you help me with a content marketing strategy? Or, can you help me figure out the right email cadence or the right kinds of emails to send out? Or I need more visibility on my website, right? So everybody always starts this question thinking about tactics. And oftentimes, when I start to challenge and we get into the conversation, I start asking questions about strategy because we need both. And in my mind, any good marketing tactic needs to be tied to a marketing strategy. So you may be asking yourself at this point, well, what's the difference? What's the difference between a tactic and a strategy? I define strategy simply as this. It's a strong overarching vision intended to fulfill your business goals and objectives, right? And that overarching is an important word, right? It kind of sits on top. It's what ties everything together. It's a plan that ensures that the day-to-day activities, those are your tactics, contribute to your monthly, quarterly, and annual business goals. Right? So the strategy is what ties all of the various tactics together. Right? The tactics are the highly practical piece. Right? So videos like this, Instagram, social media, webinars, those are various tactics that you use, but to make sure they're all working together, to make sure they're all driving for common purpose and common goals, we drive them up and they bubble up to the strategy. So Sun Tzu said it like this, right? He was a great, one of the greatest known military war strategists and Chinese leaders. He said, strategy without tactics is the slowest route to victory. Tactics without strategy is the noise before defeat. Right? And I truly believe that. When we think about having these tactics, and this is what always happens. I have somebody come in the door and they say, I need help with Facebook. And I ask them, well, what do you hope to accomplish? Why do you want to do Facebook? And it's usually to get more clients or things like that. And then I start asking, well, how's that going to work well with the things you're already doing? Tell me what you're doing from a marketing standpoint already. And they haven't really thought that deeply. Oftentimes people are thinking, well, I just need Facebook. I know there are people out there. I know they can help bring them into my business, but we're not asking ourselves, well, what are we intending Facebook to do? What part of our marketing strategy do we feel that Facebook is the right answer for? So you've probably heard the term customer journey or buyer's journey, and you think about the various pieces. Right? And I often talk to clients about this because one of the early questions is, well, if you have a product or a service, how do people know you exist? How are they going to find out about you for the very first time? Right? And from there, once we've answered that question, it's, well, why should they consider you? Right? So you think about the consideration phase. Why should they consider you as a potential answer or solution to whatever they're dealing with? Right? Why should they buy from you? Why should they spend money with you? Right? And then on down, right? So there's awareness, there's consideration, there's conversion. What tactics are we going to use to push somebody over the edge? So you see, when you come in and you say, well, I love Facebook. Well, Facebook may be a great answer for your business, but when you look at the strategy, is it the answer for every phase of that customer journey? Is Facebook the answer to how you're going to get in front of people the very first time? Is Facebook also the answer to, well, how you're going to start getting them to consider your services or your products? And if it is it also the answer to, well, now that they're considering, how are you going to push them over the edge and turn it into real interest to drive a business conversation or a visit to the website, right? And if they're on your website, well, can Facebook still be the answer to getting them all the way to purchase? Probably not, right? So we use different tactics at different steps in the buyer journey, and that's why the strategy is so important. The strategy forces us to really dig into those pieces. So for me, why strategy? I think it's important that we all think about the strategy, especially the marketing strategy for our business. First of all, because it's not short-lived. I have people that come on every day and they tell me what they've tried. I tried doing this email newsletter thing for a while, or, I tried a live show for a few weeks, or, I was doing this podcast and it didn't go well. Not many people were listening, so I bounced, or whatever that tactic may be. And then they move on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And inevitably, these professionals, these business owners are always asking me the same question, right? Really what they're asking, even though they don't know it, is what is the silver bullet that is going to take somebody from I don't know you or what you do all the way to becoming a customer? And it doesn't exist. Right? And by looking at that strategy, we're no longer looking for the one tactic that is going to do everything for us. We're carefully considering what questions need to be asked. What do we need to communicate? What needs to happen at each level? And then what is the marketing tactic best suited to do that? So I mentioned communication. Communication is another reason why I love the work of marketing strategy, because it asks a question: what is it you want to communicate, and how are you going to communicate it to these folks? Right? So again, social media may be an answer, your website may be an answer, right? Where do testimonials live, and how do you communicate those testimonials? Is it through video, right? Are you doing stuff in PR so you have that kind of outside credible source? So there's a lot of different steps when we think about what do we want to communicate at each stage of the customer journey, and ultimately how do we drive them all the way to conversion. But that is not one question. The communication needs to be asked at, what do we want to communicate to somebody who doesn't know us? What do we want to communicate to somebody who's considering us versus competitors? And then what do we want to communicate when somebody is right on the edge and they're making the buy or no buy decision? Right? So marketing strategy pulls all of that out, and it encourages us to think through that at every step. And I've talked a lot about the customer journey. I think often when people come in and are asking me, should I use Facebook? Should I send emails? Should I do podcasts? Or should I buy a magazine ad? They're not really thinking about that customer journey. They're not looking at the lens of each step in the customer journey or each tactic should have a job, right? And often it's, well, how does that job take me from they now know about me or they don't know about me all the way to they've purchased my product or service? Well, my question becomes, what is the job of the awareness, right? Is it to, one, now they know about you, they know you exist, they know you're an option. And if that job's been done, then we can consider that successful, right? But now we have a new set of jobs around the consideration phase. So I like thinking through strategy because it forces us to break up the customer journey and really understand what is the role of each step. What are our goals? What do we hope to achieve? And the last thing is I love strategy because it forces us to ask important questions. Again, people come through the door and they're asking me, about this tactic or that tactic. And when I ask them about the people they serve, they give me really anecdotal answers. Well, I think the people that would probably buy my product or would need my service look like this or look like that. These are questions we should have intimate answers to. We should know who we're going after. We should know why they would be interested. We should know where they go and where they spend their time. We should know how they buy. We should know what inspires and encourages and scares them. Right? So the marketing strategy forces us to ask some deep-rooted or to answer some deep-rooted questions about our business. And that will ultimately sharpen our messaging. It'll ultimately drive people through your customer journey quicker. It'll ultimately increase revenue, drive growth, and everything else you want to accomplish. But a lot of those questions are never asked when it's just, should I do Facebook or not? Right? Should I send emails or not? So those are just a few of the things that I love about marketing strategy. And there's a lot more. So one of the things I'm going to do is I've put together a download that speaks to what are some of the questions you should answer that feed your marketing strategy. So as you're sitting here right now, if you're thinking to yourself, I have a lot of tactics, right? Some of them are connected. Some of them feel really disconnected. We kind of do Facebook over here and we do emails, once a month, and we do some of these other things, but it's not cohesive. It's not tied together. Well, I encourage you to hit the download. I'll put the link in the comments and we will drive down. It'll start to answer those questions. These are some really basic questions that you should answer before you even start talking about building that strategy. And if you find yourself in a position where you need a marketing strategy, you need to think through this, you need to think about your business at a different level, but you're not exactly sure where to start, reach out to me. You can get a hold of me right here on this platform. You can get me over at my website, darrellsweeney.com. You can send me a direct message. However it is, get a hold of me and I'm happy to talk through that with you. Right? Again, this is what I do. This is what I'm passionate about and encouraged by. I love spending time helping business owners and professionals build the businesses they really want. And only you can define that. Right? So what does success mean to you? And then what are the right marketing strategies and marketing tactics to then go out and achieve that business? So with that, I will let you guys go. As always, thank you for joining in. Before you go, I do want to mention, I launched a new Facebook group last week called Business Your Way. So it's Business Your Way with Darrell Sweeney. In it, I wanted to create a place where people like you and I could get together and talk about what are our business goals? What are we trying to accomplish? What are we struggling with? And find real answers, find inspiration, find accountability. So it is an easy and free way to jump into a deeper level conversation about how to get the things you want out of life and business. So join me there, Business Your Way with Darrell Sweeney. And until next week, see you guys.